Maybe.
There we are.
I got to figure out which button I got to push.
There we are.
Good morning,
Morning,
everybody.
everyone.
Morning, all. Hey,
Morning,
look at that. Claude is not a two-dimensional person. He is actually three-dimensional.
Very three-dimensional.
Oh, man, we've been having a blast. Absolute blast.
Yeah, it's been a trip. So, and getting up here was the pinnacle of it. So, yeah, we're having a good time, and hopefully this morning Steve's going to get this engine fired up for you guys under steam instead of air. And
I think I finally solved the valve problem. It failed again up at Train Mountain. We got it to move about 30 feet before the valve I put in fried. So I got to see it in person, got to see it fired up because I had to do a boiler inspection for Train Mountain to get it certified. And when we did that, it got, hot, fired up, and burned that valve up again. So what I've done is I've installed the valve in the back of the locomotive on the back end.
let me change it around here, and we'll take a look.
So yeah,
Yeah, I saw your videos that you had on Facebook of it running.
We're having issues. There we go.
Can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Yep, it's coming through. Oh, okay. Yeah, what I've done is instead of having my blower line, I pulled the blower line out of here and pulled the throttle linkage out of this hole. These are two hollow tubes that run all the way through the smoke box. So what I've done is run a line from the dry pipe in the smoke box where the steam comes from through this hole to the valve, and then it runs back through the line that used to have the blower and now connects to the cylinder. So it keeps the valve completely out of the heat of the firebox. And a lot of guys have been telling me that's what I should do even before I did it. And I didn't want to do it because of the aesthetics of it. It just doesn't look cool. But I was going to have to read the throttle lever anyway because I wasn't liking the play in it. I wanted it something up and down anyway. So this actually kind of does the same thing. So
you don't like the red lever?
Yeah.
This is so that would be off.
Well, if he ends up staying with this, I think you're going to make a new one, aren't you?
The lever,
different lever.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But like I told him, I said, the functionality at some point, the functionality, the practicality of it has to outweigh the looks.
Yeah.
Because if it looks great but it doesn't work,
then
it doesn't do any good. You got to have it. You got to have it working.
But I still have an issue of having to get my fat hand in once I have the cab in place to be able to get in and get this reverse lever. So a couple modifications I did at Train Mountain was I had my bypass valve for the right crosshead pump. Gus is over on the lawn. He's crying. He's like, oh. But it used to be over on the other side of the whistle valve, which made it in kind of more in the way of trying to get this reverse quadrant. So moving it over here was a simple fix. I did that. So I guess we could probably just try to fire it up now, huh?
I suppose.
Let me shoot the compressor.
You're the boss on that.
Let me see how loud the compressor is.
While you guys do that, you want to say good morning to everybody?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
I saw the train builder in here, and I may have accidentally somehow deleted his comment. If I did, I apologize. It wasn't on purpose. I did see a comment from him, but then it disappeared, and I may have fat-fingered something I didn't need to.
Maybe. I don't know. I still see it.
Oh, okay, good, because I can't see it anywhere.
Yeah. I'm looking at YouTube chat.
That's not bad at all.
Okay.
No. Well, I mean,
Gary, you want to go ahead and run down and say hi to everyone that's in the chat?
Sure.
I can close the door if it gets long.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sparky, Rob Tman, John Tanzillo, Almar, Schuylkill River John. Digger Evans. Plumber 33. Evan on Train Builder.
That's what I want.
Who else?
So what we're gonna do?
I'm going through. I think I got everybody. Container Man, Roy. I think, and Dave over there at DES Media Production. Good morning, everybody.
Now, what is Steve doing right now?
It takes about 30 minutes to get this thing really hot.
Hey, Dennis, switch it over right
Okay.
quick. Pull it back over, Steve.
Lynn McCurdy, good morning, Lynn.
Morning, Lynn.
Sorry I missed you.
Now they got a good look. Now you can shut it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now you can shut it.
Okay. Now, while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and lube it up. I've got 3 oil cups on the rod, which I know eventually I'm going to lose those. Because they're kind of set like that.
How often do you have to oil that thing?
What did you say?
Couldn't hear you. Say it again.
How often do you have to oil that?
How often do you have to oil it?
Oh, well, before you fire it up, for sure, and anytime you really stop.
Can you guys hear him?
All the time.
A lot, it sounds like.
Yeah, you got to keep them lubed. That's for sure. Even on the big ones, you know, when I take a trip on the narrow gauge stuff, every time we stop, like midway
Right.
or for lunch or something like that, they're out there lubing up stuff. They're constantly lubing it.
Okay, then we want to get 2 oil cups in here.
That's a lot of work.
Now on the large locomotives, on the regular size locomotives, they use grease more than oil.
The Plumber 33 has a question. Where do you get the track for that engine, and what gauge is it?
Okay, where did you get the track for the engine, and what gauge is it?
Where did I get the track?
Yeah. Where do you get the track?
Oh, there's several suppliers that you can get it from, but it's expensive. God, I can't think offhand.
AccuRail or
The
AccuRite?
gauge is
It's 7.5 inch.
yeah, the gauge is 7.5 inch. And I thought that piece you made for me up there.
I think AccuRite or AccuRail makes track and other things for this gauge. Just Google 7.5 gauge track.
I'm sorry, you're asking a question. This thing's loud.
Good morning, Joe Raider. No, I'm answering questions.
Oh, okay.
Morning, Joe.
This is for the steam oil. And this is a really, really thick oil that doesn't break down with steam. So this goes in the lubricator and it's pumped into the cylinder. each time the wheel rotates, it ratchets this little lever and pumps steam oil up into the cylinder. It should be pretty full. Yeah. That's probably good.
That's pretty cool, but it's too much work.
Jerry says it's pretty cool, but it's too much work.
Well, that's the fun part.
Yeah, working on it's the fun part. That's true.
I don't know. Maybe.
There'd never be an end of things to do, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. When we got there, Brendan and I got there on Monday. We're sitting there on the bench under a tree about 25 yards from Steve's engine, and he's got it sitting next to the 3.5-inch scale Denver Rio Grande Southern engine I was telling you about, and this thing looked like G scale next to that one.
Yeah. The Lionel thing. Now it's just a matter of weight. As soon as the gauge starts lifting off this peg, you'll see the steam building up. And at about 40 to 45 pounds, if my blower was working, I would start running my blower on the locomotive and shut off the compressor. But since I don't have a blower, I'm going to have to leave that stupid thing on the whole time. Otherwise,
Steve, Container Man said he only made it down to Woodburn, Oregon Wednesday.
Yeah, Roy said, tell Steve I only made it down to Woodburn, Oregon Wednesday.
Uh-oh. That's about 3.5 hours away.
So this thing takes a little while to build up some steam.
I could have stuck my earbuds in so I could hear.
Yeah, I can barely. I got to hold it up next to my head to hear them.
Because that thing's so loud you can't hear.
Well, it's the compressor he's using for the blower, because he's got to have to run from his blower line. He's going to have to run down here and put a hole in the smoke box to act as the blower, because he changed the valve position. But right now he's just using the compressor line as the blower to get the draft.
Yeah, the blower going to have to run externally.
Does it always constantly need a blower?
Say it again, Gary.
Does it constantly need a blower?
Well, the blower is for the draft, to get the draft created.
And that's it.
Keep the fire, the heat going down and out the flue. Because if you don't get that draft, then it won't heat the water very efficiently.
How's the picture? Because on my phone it's working jerky.
Yeah, how's the picture look?
Okay.
Not jerking around too bad?
I guess that depends on your sensitivity to jerky video.
It's not the best, but it's not that great. It's not bad. It's fine.
Yeah, the quality, it's clear picture. Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize, guys, but with that compressor blowing air in there, it's really loud. It's hard to hear you guys.
Maybe what is back in that pipe?
Back here?
I don't know.
Yeah, but if I back up too far, they won't be able to see that little thing.
Roy, I believe Steve made it.
Steve run at Train Mountain last week, Monday or Tuesday. Roy wants to know if you ran Monday or Tuesday at Train Mountain.
No. Actually, I got there on Monday and we tried firing it up Tuesday and it didn't work. Unfortunately.
Actually, I think if you just use Steve's phone, you're fine.
He says I should stay in one place.
How's that?
Well, if I'd have stayed in one place, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay, I'll get over here and stay in one place.
Well, this thing takes a long time to build up pressure for a little tiny motor.
Yeah, it's starting to climb.
Got 20 pounds on it.
How many pounds do you need?
How many pounds does he run at? 100, 120?
One safety pops at 100, the other pops at 110. But the operating pressure is anywhere between 80 and 100 pounds that you can actually run on.
Yeah, I think it's just better to use Steve's camera.
And this valve here, that blows your water, that blows your gauge to make sure your gauge is working. You see the water level drop, which is actually a little high right now. That's okay.
Yeah, I think it needs a diaper.
It does, yeah.
It needs a diaper right there.
There's always water dripping from somewhere. And this thing, when it starts moving, it'll start blowing water and shit out of the stack. So it blows it all out.
You actually can't really move it, can you?
Say again, Jay?
Can you actually move it?
Move the engine?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not like up on blocks, right?
It's on a roller
No, it's
stand.
it's on roller bearings.
Oh, okay.
Roller bearings he built for it so he can test it.
Oh,
Without it
okay.
trying to roll down the stand.
I got you.
Before I was blocking it up and had the wheels actually lifted off the track, that was without the tender.
Well, we're up to 40 pounds and climbing.
I don't know.
Anyway, I can testify that if you're anywhere near Chiloquin or Klamath Falls, Oregon, go to Train Mountain for the day. Just walk around. It's a pretty cool place. It's amazing what they've done there.
I'm not sure what Roy is asking there. Go back to 2.5, back on track, Trent. Someone else probably has to answer that.
Most people don't know what Roy's talking about.
Propane, plumber. This runs on propane.
It uses propane. They can't burn solid fuels at Train Mountain because of the embers. So they have to be gasoline, diesel, propane, or electric.
What's the most popular choice?
I think for the steam, I think it's propane. Now that Colorado Southern engine uses gasoline, actually. But there were a lot of electric engines there the other day too. So that's starting to become popular, kind of like it did with the RC airplanes. Because it's clean and it's quiet. You know, it doesn't make any noise. Yeah, it's turnkey. You just go. You don't have to fire it up. You don't have to do anything. The batteries just have to be charged.
But that's the boring part. Turnkey.
But that's only if all you want to do is ride around, you know.
Which has disadvantages.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. Okay, we're up to 80 pounds. Yeah, it would.
Ah,
All right.
Don't open it. Because I would get you back. You can get a shot, see how the lubricator works. That'll get you up. Rob Tman says, wait and see a solar panel train or one powered by wind turbine. Rob, you're going to be waiting a while, dude.
morning,
This
Heath.
is the control. This is the control slow speed he didn't have the other day because the valve fried. But now he's able to slow it down.
That's pretty cool.
So, Steve, are you planning on going back soon?
Are you planning on going back to Train Mountain soon?
I don't know when I'd like to. That's up to the gods, the gods
And the wife
and gas prices.
and gas prices, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to see it running, Steve.
Jerry says it's good to see it running.
Yeah. You've come a long way in actually a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Very
Congratulations.
short amount of time.
Congratulations.
Bill,
All your hard work paid off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it's
morning,
awesome.
Heath.
See, and it's, you know, it's much more impressive in person.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's just, it, yeah, safety's getting ready to pop. Then, oh, there it goes.
Woo.
Lynn McCurdy says Heath needs a couple of these in his train room.
I think everybody needs one.
He could just use the steam off the radiators.
What was the pop-off pressure set at?
I think he said 110,
Yeah,
120.
110.
Yeah, between 80 and 100 is operating temperature or pressure.
But where does it pop off at?
I'm sorry, did you say something, Bill?
Does it pop off at 110, or is it just, can it pop off anywhere in between there?
One pops off at 105, right?
No, 110.
110 and 120?
100 and 110.
Oh, 100 and
110.
110. Yeah, because you got two separate ones.
The 110 one is in case the other one decides it's not going to work.
How do you power your headlight?
I'm sorry, Jerry, I didn't hear you.
How do you power the headlight? A battery?
I think so. You power the headlight with a battery? Headlight power is battery? Battery, yeah.
But see, so far the process pumps will keep the water level right. I haven't had to use the injector yet.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. And that's what it should be doing. While you're running, use the process pump to put water in there.
So does all that plumbing get hot?
Yes, it does.
I'm guessing it does. Yeah.
He's running. He's normally got leather gloves on,
Okay.
which makes it even tougher to get your hands in there when he's got the cab on it.
Yeah.
Well, here, listen.
He's going to grab the cab here.
That's just so
Now
cool.
you see how tight a fit it is for your hands.
You have to fit it in here like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
stick your hand in there again. And of course, that's without gloves on. When you put gloves on, you know what that does.
I'm going to keep it. And it's working.
Deal.
Now with the injector, watch the gauge. Watch it drop.
Yeah.
It puts water in the boiler really fast. So at about 80, I want to pull it off, otherwise it's going to cool off too much.
Yeah.
You see the water's rising a little bit down here. So now we shut the injector off and then turn the water off. And sometimes if you're doing that, then you turn the fire up a little bit while you're injecting water. That'll help build the steam back up.
Yeah.
That would be about as fast as you want to be running. That would be ticking down the clock.
Well,
It's going pretty fast.
yeah, it's shimmying the lift that it's on. It's shaking it a little bit.
Yeah, you'd be going pretty good down the clock.
I don't think you'd ever want to be going that fast, would you?
I'll turn the fire down a little bit.
Wouldn't think so.
Well, it got into a better rhythm when you turn the fire down. Roy says, I'm drinking a beer. Oh, that's Roy's drinking a beer.
Oh, Roy's drinking a beer. Yes, he's got a lot finer control now.
Yeah. I noticed that first off last night when you sent me the video. Yeah, so he can roll real slow now. He couldn't do that the other day because it fried the valve.
And you think that's all because you moved the valve out of the
Firebox.
firebox?
Yeah, the valve's right here now. The red handle on that valve, that's the throttle valve now.
And where
It's
was
back
it
here
before?
behind the firebox.
Where was it before?
It was up in the smoke box in the front. And of course, all that heat's coming out going to the flue, and it was just frying it.
And so I presume you had linkage going to it from the
Yes.
cab.
Yeah, he had the linkage
Okay.
going through the hole, but he brought the pipe back to it now. So the linkage, if you switch to the view I've got here, the linkage was coming through where that red handle valve is. It goes straight through the boiler. That's a sleeve tube that goes to the front. And that's what the linkage went through before. Now he's got the pipe coming back through that and the valve being right here. And I think it's going to work much better that way. He's already got better control of it this way.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it move down the tracks.
Say again?
I said, I can't wait to see it move down the tracks.
Yeah. Well, I'll post the video I took of him backing up the Train Mountain. It wasn't pretty, but he did move on its own power.
Technically, it moved.
Yes, technically it moved.
Yeah. It's going to look awesome.
Well, it didn't help.
Get the trains completely running with all the cars, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't help that the rails were oily.
Yeah, I was going to say it didn't help. There was oil all over the rails from oiling it up. So when he fired it up and put it in reverse, it just spun like crazy. But I think he's got it tackled now. Yeah. And if he does fry this valve, it'll be a whole lot easier to change.
Oh yeah.
Because the other one in the smoke box was just way too tight to get in there.
It was nuts trying to get in there.
The answer to that question, Heath, is that he's got roller bearings underneath it, kind of like the engine stand that you would see for even an HO scale locomotive.
Yeah, Heath wanted to know how you had it sitting here without going off the table.
Oh yeah. My little MacGyver invention.
Yeah.
Good morning, Steve 87.
Now I wish it was on the track.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad you don't have some track here to run it on.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe page to build a railroad here.
There you go. Heath wants to know if you have the same loco for your in-scale layout.
I do not.
He does not. Okay.
I think you need to get one, Steve. That would look pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, Bill says you need to get one though. Yeah, because he said that's pretty cool. It is. Like I say, it's a lot better in person. You get the smell of the oil and stuff, and the hot steam. You get all that, which just adds to it. Not moving that valve, is it? No.
How much runtime do you get before you have to re-oil?
Say again?
How much runtime do you get before you have to re-oil?
That I don't know. How long can you run before you have to re-oil everything?
Oh, I would want to re-oil it probably no more than an hour, I would think.
Okay, so it lasts.
Yeah, like I say, on the real ones, they'll oil them anytime they stop. They'll get out and they'll check all the running gear. I say oil them on the big ones. They're greasing them. They're not oiling them. They do have some places that oil gas, but most of it's grease.
I would think probably most any time you stop, you probably want to be oiling stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a constant thing with the steam engine. I know that.
Any idea yet on how long you can run before you have to top off the tender with water again?
On the tender.
Yeah, I was wondering how long you could run before you needed to add water to the tender.
How long can you run before you have to add water?
I don't know. It could probably half an hour. I'm not really sure. I haven't timed it. Still got water.
Yeah, you got quite a bit of water still in there. Yeah, I'd say he's probably still got half of it in there.
And how much does it hold?
How much did you say it holds, Steve?
No more than 3 gallons. Maybe.
No more, yeah. Well, and they have water tanks on the railroad at Train Mountain. He was saying the other day he's got to learn where all those are.
I know where most of them are, but I don't know how far they are to actually run. We've been. What time is it?
We've been in 40 minutes, I think.
Okay,
35.
So it's been running for half an hour, and I've not even used half the tank.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty good. I'm running it high. Get the way up to the pump there.
There's the fuel source. What normally be in his fuel car, which is a reefer.
Which would be right here. A beer car.
Beer and propane car. And it would hook up here. Normally that's in the reefer that would sit right behind this tender.
I'm pretty pleased with the way it's firing this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be running pretty good.
Is the water that you use treated to prevent scaling?
Bill wants to know if the water that you're using is treated to prevent scaling.
Yeah, it's SB 8000. Tim Parks gave me this, and you put about a capful in when you fill it up, and it grabs all the particulate matter and drops it to the bottom. It's the same way with it in the tender and the boiler. Because I've got really high scale and lime and stuff in my water. And Train Mountain's the same way, their water's terrible.
Yeah. So then when you blow down, yeah, it blows all that out. Any idea how much pulling power this local will have? Can you pull a large consist of cars?
That's the $64,000 question. I have no idea what this is going to pull.
Well, I can tell you, Heath, the other day when he was backing off of the steaming bay and taking mine that had oil on the tracks, he had his caboose and his reefer attached to this, and he was sitting on it, and it didn't have any problem backing up. Once it got some traction, it didn't have any problem. Now that's on level track. So he's concerned only about, I think, about the grades there, and they do have some pretty good grades.
3% is about 3.5 is about max.
Yeah, we came up that day. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, that's when my car came unhitched.
Exactly. That's what all that banging was. I think.
The event live steamers as a plumber means something completely different than what it does in the hobby.
Yeah.
This is true. Oh, see, that's what it gets me every time.
Yeah.
Popping in your face like that.
It should startle you.
Yeah, because when you're plumbing,
You don't want
that happening.
You don't want that happening. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
As long as it's coming out of there, it's okay. Anywhere else is a bad thing.
Heath wants to know where your butt goes.
My butt goes right here on his seat.
He said the edges of that tender don't look very comfortable.
But that's why I have a seat for it.
Yeah, he's got a seat that sits up there, Heath. Right here on the tender. And now that he's got it running, now he can paint the tender. That's what he's been waiting on. There you go.
But it's in the way now. You always got to be watching your water level. That's critical. So you're balancing your fire with putting water in. Because I've got the two crosshead valves right here. This one's for the left, and if I turn it counterclockwise, it opens the valve, and there's no water going through the pumps. If I close the valve, now I've got water running through those pumps. Same way with the other side. So that's closed, and now both pumps are pumping water in the boiler.
Yeah, she got a good rhythm going now. That'd put me to sleep if I was riding in it. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. When you're riding on a train mountain, it's as bad as a real one. If you've had lunch and it's a warm day,
Or a couple of beers,
you probably fall asleep on the thing. It's very relaxing to ride around there.
you see now the gauge is dropping a little bit because we're pumping water in the boiler, so I'd want to crank up the firing valve just a little bit to compensate for that heat loss. And my water's coming up to about where I'd want it to be, which is about 2/3 of the sight glass. So now I'm going to open my valves, and now there's no water going in the boiler. And I'm coming up to my 100 pounds, so now I'm going to crack my fire down a little bit so that we don't pop the face. It'll probably pop anyway. And then you're just wasting water when it's cooking.
Yeah. Steve Anderson said the baby fell right to sleep on the ride when we were here.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, he was passed out.
Yeah, Steve was here. It was great to meet Steve and Chuck and Chuck's friend Dave. We had a good time. We didn't need no stinking engine.
Nope. We got enough bang. So now I got to concentrate on my brakes. Get my blower line put in and now figure out why my brakes don't work.
Yeah.
I think I know why.
Why don't we shut down so we can finish the show
Okay.
from here? We've got about 20 minutes, a little less than 20 minutes
Okay.
left.
So what we're going to do is we're going to shut the fire off, shut the throttle off, and turn off the compressor.
Oh, geez. You reached over and did that and scared me to death. Do that. Give them a good laugh. It's too early in the morning here, man. Like I say, when that does that to a plumber, it's not a good thing. So that's my reaction to it. Oh, thank you. My hearing came back.
That's what this looks like. Just a little
Oh,
manual blower.
they're up on that camera.
Oh, up on there. Yeah, this is a little hook, and it just gives me my artificial draft.
So without the air compressor, how do you get the draft otherwise?
Okay, there's a blower valve in the cab, which is this guy right here. Let's see. This valve is for the blower, so this steam would run. Originally, it ran through this line here up to the nozzle in the smoke box that creates the draft. So now what I've got to do is run it externally along the side underneath the running board.
Yeah, you're gonna run it along here and go in the side of the firebox.
Yeah,
or the smoke box.
Yeah, so I've got to.
So did that happen as a result of moving the valve out of the firebox? So there's just a little bit more plumbing to get things where they need to be?
Yeah, because now I've got my throttle valve connection, or the tubing is taking the place of the blower line. So now I got no clear tube to run a blower line down into the smoke box. So now it's going to have to be externally. Excuse me. So,
But there again, if it makes it work it's better to do
Mhm.
that than to have it look right and not work.
I've seen there's engines that do have the place, so it's not
Yeah.
like it'll be a one-off. But yeah, I think she fired up pretty good this morning. I'm pretty pleased with it.
The plumber says time for me to go on the boat. Enjoyed learning about this little steam engine. Peace out. See you later, plumber.
Plumber,
Thanks for
Yep.
stopping in.
that's a new one. Welcome, plumber. So now we're gonna have to figure out why this doesn't work. Because I'm only getting. Let me plug the brake line and see what. See, I only get like 3 or 4 pounds.
That's your brake line.
Yeah,
How many pounds do you need?
I think it should be up to about 15. That's not enough to even set the brakes. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm gonna have to get with Jeff at Local Parts and find out. I don't know. Maybe there's something goofy that I'm not doing right. But I don't know. Anyway, that was on the bottom of my list to get done before I, and now I've got everything checked off my list and I can start messing with brakes.
Well, and didn't you say the actual Americans they didn't have brakes on the engine?
No, yeah,
They
actually,
used the Johnson bar,
yeah,
or not Johnson bar, but they used their
yeah.
quadrant.
If you start this in reverse, it acts like a Jake brake on a truck. It starts creating
The pressure, back pressure on the cylinder.
pressure, and it'll actually slow it down, which I didn't know. And that's something unique to the Stevenson valve gear, which is kind of interesting.
So it's like putting it in low gear in a truck or in a
Yeah.
car going downhill. Well, and you would definitely need brakes here if you're coming downhill.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Steve was talking about making a bobsled that you could haul to the top of the mountain and ride all the way down.
Little 4-wheel bobsled with brakes. We'll throw a plot on that thing. But the trucks looked out real good with the. They got little friction bearings on the inside.
So when do you paint the tender now?
Well, I don't know. I think I want. Honestly, I think I want to get it on the track a few times and actually run it before I do that, because I want to make sure there's no issues with the truck clearance, truck clearance, or anything else on the tender I might need to deal with. Because if it's all painted up and it's got the wood, I'm not going to be wanting to tear it apart. So,
Yeah, that makes good sense.
yeah.
Steve, any idea what it would cost to put a little, I don't know, loop in your yard?
Oh, you can figure about $8 a foot.
$8 a foot.
Yeah. Okay. Somewhere in that ballpark. By the time you do ballast, ties, rail, screws, and all that, it's not cheap. So
Well, and you'd have to have what? Say to go around this right here on this, what as big as this drive is. What is that about?
Well, it wouldn't make that radius, but
It'd be about 300 feet, wouldn't it?
you'd have to have probably at least 300 feet of track to make a loop. Probably more.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of guys don't do it.
That's why they have places like Train Mountain.
Because it is pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to. I mean, I've got the acreage here to do it, and plus you got to grade it and level it and fill it, and so you're gonna have to have a tractor to do that. But a lot of guys do put tracks at their house if they got the money and the ability to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Fred Wild wants to know, with the blower hooked up, will you still need the compressor to get the engine started?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, this is your compressor line right here.
Yeah, which is now so far disconnected, but yeah.
Yeah.
You have to create an artificial draft until you get enough steam, which on this one's about 60 pounds to be able to pull it off life support. Pretty basically. But what time is it?
We got 10 minutes
50.
left.
10 minutes. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And and then you'd want to blow it down. You're going to take it home and ready to go. You don't want to blow it down until you get down to about 40 pounds, because you can stress the boiler. Then you just
Hey.
That is cool.
What is the temperature of that?
Rob said he'd have to pay a maintenance away crew to keep maintenance on it.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Steve Anderson wants to know, what is Train Mountain doing with the track they're pulling up and replacing?
That's a good question. I think they sell it.
Maybe you
If
could
they were
buy it.
giving If they were giving it away, I'd take some, but
Dennis said, can you buy it?
I don't know, probably.
You have enough money.
Yeah, you get enough money. Exactly.
You can buy anything, you have enough money.
Yeah. But
Funny how that works.
John 2618 says amazing.
thank you, John. Thank you. Yeah, we did it.
Anybody got any questions on the trip that I've been on so far?
Oh, we've had a blast.
We had a blast since we've been here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you ever come to Grants Pass, you got to go down and do the jet boats on the Rogue River. That was a hoot.
Mm.
So,
We had a real good time on that.
aside from meeting Steve, what was the best part of the trip?
Oh, just seeing part of the country I've not been to yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we drove from Tulsa out through Flagstaff.
Over here, 'cause they're on the other camera.
Oh, they're on the other camera. Well, they can see me.
No, they're good. They can see your feet.
Yeah,
No,
this is a much better view. It's easier on those of us who get motion sickness.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we came out from Tulsa through Flagstaff and went to the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon was unbelievable to see it in person, and that's what you got to do. We've been able to see Grand Canyon, drove out through Vegas, up through Nevada, which was an eye-opener. It was much nicer than I expected it to be. Drove up to Lake Tahoe, very touristy, but a lot of people, but very beautiful too. I had never been there before, and so we got to see that. Drove down from there up to Klamath Falls, and we went down the east side of the mountains. We were in and out of Nevada and California. We kind of crossed over a couple of times on that highway, but not much traffic on it.
Sounds like if you can't stand being around people, some of them places aren't a good place to go.
We lost the camera.
That's all right. He's there. We can't hear him, but
Can't hear him either. Huh.
wonder why.
Lost
don't know.
audio.
Oh, Steve, maybe we lost Claude's audio and Steve's audio is muted.
Yeah, but I'm pushing the unmute right now and it's not letting me unmute. I wonder if they accidentally muted themselves.
Well, yeah, I think maybe Steve muted himself. It's just my thought. I don't know.
Still talking. It doesn't look like he could hear you or us.
Interesting.
Put that up there on the screen so you can read it. Oh, he's got his camera in the tree. That's cool. It's
Yeah,
creative.
it will not let me unmute the mic. I think he must have accidentally muted himself.
Probably. Put up what I just mentioned in on the screen so that Claude could see it, because he's probably not watching chat. I guess it wouldn't matter.
So I went back. See, I'm not doing any of that. I don't know what's going on there.
Are you switching cameras back and forth?
No, I'm not. It just did that all on its own. That or someone's hacked into our live stream and is pushing buttons.
Maybe.
It says can't unmute your guest. Their mic is not connected.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
No,
now.
I'm not muted.
There we go.
Hello? Testing.
Dennis muted us. That's what it was.
No,
Now I hear you.
I didn't mute anyone. I
I
promise.
barely hear him up there.
Yeah, I can barely hear
For
him.
like 3 minutes, I was trying to. We probably lost 3 minutes of you talking because somehow it magically got muted.
Yeah, he said lost magically got muted. I don't know.
I wouldn't even touch.
Yeah, our phones aren't muted, but I can't hear you on mine. I can barely hear you on Steve's.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe
Huh.
Shannon's messing with us.
Yeah, it's the live stream gremlins.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
It's Heath's fault.
It's always Heath's
Okay,
fault.
I'm
But, yeah, both of your cameras dropped at the same time for a second, and then after that, the audio dropped when you came back on.
Get off.
Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. Who knows?
Yeah,
Claude,
that'd be my
you can
guess.
talk about your trip when you come back, Claude.
Okay, well, I dropped mine off, so maybe
That's
that'll
okay.
help a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it's been a great trip.
I think Bill's got the right of it. I think you guys lost connection for a second, and when you came back on, it just automatically muted your mics or something. I don't know.
Well, Brenda says I lose connection a lot of times, so
Yeah, me too.
It's all right.
Tenuous with reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is my best bud, and I don't want him to leave, but he's going to have to go.
Got to
home.
go home. Got to go back. Yeah. Unfortunately, too bad we live so far apart. But
Maybe Steve should move to Oklahoma.
I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think we're going to pry Brenda out of Oklahoma.
no, you're not going to pry Brenda out of Oklahoma.
So I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you just got more road trips in the future then.
Yeah, you know.
That's just an
Well,
excuse
I
to
told
travel.
them the other day they need to come stay with us because we got plenty of room at the house, and they come stay with us. And then Brenda said, "But there's nothing to show them in Tulsa.
There's nothing in Tulsa.
Nothing like they have here for sure."
See, but that's perfect because then you could spend time together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
like,
I started to say, well,
Yeah.
there's my layout, but I knew better in front of the women. So
it's all right.
I have a daughter that lives in the state of Washington, and I don't know when I'm actually going to get up there, but I don't know how much out of the way Steve would be, but
well, he's in
that sounds like
Southwest.
it's a good trip.
Yeah, he's in Southwest Oregon. So,
Right.
Almost as far southwest as you can get in Oregon is where I am.
but he's right off of I-5. So you do have an interstate that comes through.
Mhm.
Now, we haven't been on the interstate since we left Vegas. Vegas was the last place we've been on the interstate. Every other road, some of them have been 4-lane, but most of them have been 2.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
But they've been good roads for the most part,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But
Yeah,
it's been a nice drive.
that's the way to see the country is to
It is.
get off the interstate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate-
even with the high gas prices, it's been worth it. So,
Because you're
And
not
it's-
probably going to get back there anytime soon. So it's something you
no,
want to
probably
see.
not.
Yeah, you don't want to
You
see
know.
the interstate.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a neat place to see. It's beautiful up here for sure. If you like the mountains and pine trees,
Yeah.
it's a place to come because it's
And-
here. It's like Colorado, but it's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same. Little different trees and stuff, but they're pine trees, but they're different.
A lot of pine, oak, and madrone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But,
Well, we're right at our 1 hour mark, so
Okay.
we probably better call it quits and let you guys get back to whatever it is you're doing.
okay.
Have a good day, fellas. Enjoy the 4th of July. Safe travel.
It was a real joy getting to see it run, Steve.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Get on the
I'm
track.
pretty pumped. It ran pretty good this morning. I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy.
He'll be in a good mood now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see everyone later.
See you guys.
Take care.
Later,
all.
guys.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, bye-bye.